Here at Tuddenham Mill we're a boutique hotel, so 15 bedrooms. So we run like a very small hotel, almost like a restaurant with rooms really, based very much around the restaurant. It sits up to about 56 depending on configuration. So we have breakfast, lunch, dinner every day of the year. We also do small weddings, which is probably only about 10 a year or so because it's exclusive use. I've been at Tuddenham Mill for 2.5 years now, it's flown by. My first head chef position, yeah, it's been a big challenge. The menus we have here, a la carte tasting menu as well, which are 8 courses. Lunchtime we do a free for £25 for 3 courses, and then a smaller taster menu which is 5 courses for £35. We also do a light menu for hotel guests or room service, obviously as a small hotel, so sandwiches and some light dishes as well. The majority of the menus we do here is the a la carte, a very, very small amount on the light bites. Tasting menu's taken off massively since I've been here. I'd say, you know, it probably averages out across the year about 20% of people go for tasting menu. I've chose the dish that we've done because it's in the height of its season at the moment. We've got amazing fennel and parsnips, and I want to do something special with it, which fits into my food. And also the sea aster's in season, so it's a real celebration of what's about and how we can create something special without manipulating it. Well, the parsnip dish really reflects my style because it's about celebrating the ingredient and what we produce in Britain, and again, not working with it too much, too many hands on it, and turning it into something that it's not. So it's about this beautiful, pure product. You know, we're not painting pretty pictures on the plate, we're not trying to cut it into the Eiffel Tower, it's just this beautiful parsnip treated with respect, and that's what I try to do with all my food. For the poached parsnip, I'm just using nice thin parsnips, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to poach this end here. Thicker end I'm going to use for the puree and for the raw parsnip. 3 inches up. All the rest of the parsnip is just going to be chopped and made into a nice clean parsnip puree. Parsnip goes into the bag, soy sauce, pinch of sea salt, butter, maple syrup, which helps the natural sweetness of the parsnip. So I'm now going to vacuum pack this parsnip until it's fully compressed, cook it for about 3 hours, very gently until it sucks up all those lovely ingredients. So now it's completely sealed, totally airtight. It means it's going to sink in the water as well. It's important that it doesn't boil and it just cooks very gently. So for the puree I'm going to use the whole parsnip. Very important to cut the parsnip nice and thin so it cooks quickly. We don't want it stewing on the stove for ages so it loses that lovely sweetness and delicate flavour. All we want is the parsnip, some butter just to cook it down nicely, and I'm going to finish it with the grapefruit juice to give it some nice acidity against its natural sweetness. So for the raw parsnip, I'm just going to shave it very, very thinly on a mandolin, sprinkle of sea salt, and then just a delicate squeeze of lemon juice. The lemon juice and salt, it's going to sit in it for about an hour or 2, and it's just going to break it down so it's nice and pliable. The dish some texture, I'm going to do some baked oats. So it's kind of like a savoury granola with no nuts in it. So I'm going to melt the butter down, add the oats to a bowl, maple syrup, honey, a pinch of sea salt. So mix the honey, maple syrup and porridge oats first. Okay, so now the butter's melted, straight into the oats. Stir it in until it's totally incorporated. Straight onto a non-stick mat and into the oven, about 160. It's going to take 10 to 15 minutes. Because we've got some nice natural sweet flavours to this dish, it needs some acidity. So I'm using pink grapefruit. And what we're going to do, we're going to break it down into its pearls. You see, you've got all these lovely natural little cells. And rather than put the grapefruit on the plate as a big piece, which is quite intense, we just break it down into these little segments. So when you've prepared the pearls, whatever excess is left, obviously we don't want to waste it, so we're just going to juice it. You see the parsnip, it's now started to soften around the edges, so it's very nearly cooked. So we're not going to be cooking it in the liquid for very long. So basically straight in with the grapefruit juice, a little bit of water in there, all the parsnip straight into the blender with the liquid. So I'm going to blend this full power till it's super smooth. So the puree is now nice and silky smooth. For the last part of the dish, I'm going to do some sea aster, which is an amazing sea vegetable grown in salt marsh. It's got a burst of water, so when you bite into this nice sort of thick flesh, it refreshes your palate as you eat. So the parsnip first onto the plate. Again, just nice and natural. It's a lovely, natural, seasonal British dish. So the next thing for the dish is the egg. Now it's a local hen's egg. Cooked it at 62 degrees for 1 hour. And I only want the yolk for this plate. So what you've got to do is just pull the white to the side and it will just release from that beautifully cooked egg yolk. So I'm going to drop that straight onto the puree. The grapefruit. Okay, so over and around the egg yolk, because that way you get the creamy fatty egg yolk and the acidity of the grapefruit at the same time, so they work really well against each other. Parsnip is about ready now. You can see it's lovely and soft. It's taken on the colour from the soy and it's sucked up all that sweetness. I don't want it al dente, I want that lovely, soft, comforting flavour. Straight onto the plate. And the baked oats scattered all over the egg yolk and the parsnip. The raw parsnip, you can see, like I said earlier, how it's nice and pliable now, so it's going to be nice and delicate to eat. So just draping it around the plate. The last thing to go on the dish is the sea aster. Again, just drape it naturally. Got a lovely autumnal starter, which is suitable for vegetarians, and meat eaters like as well, but it's still very light and fresh. It's not heavy and cloying, and it's nice to have parsnips in that fresh, light way.